and Oscar is James McCormick, and of course Greg Smitherman. The team over at Cloudastructure Inc. Their stock symbol is CSAI. Of course, Greg Smitherman is the Chief Financial Officer, CFO. Of course, James McCormick is the CEO of Cloudastructure. And this is a world of remote guarding as a service. Guys, great to see you again. It's good to have you both on the air with us.
Same here, Sully. Good to see you guys.
It's great to be here.
Hey, I'm going to go to you first, Greg, because obviously you're filing Ks at the end of the year. You got Q1 right ahead of you. Future's pretty bright from where you guys were, even what you guys predicted 6 months ago. Things are looking pretty strong here. How are you feeling?
We're feeling great. We really are feeling great. We've had, for what we reported, every quarter north of 200% year-over-year revenue growth. Last quarter was 272%. While we haven't announced anything yet, and we hope to have some preliminary numbers out in a week or so, we're feeling really good about 2020, not just 2025, but about the prospect for 2026.
Which brings us to remote guarding as a service, James. And the benefits to customers and statistics and so on and so forth. You guys are amassing, and I remember last time you were on with Lauren O'Brien, LOB as we like to call her, and you guys played that video, and it really brought it home to where you understood what remote capacity was in terms of guarding, and different messages that come across, whether it be an Amazon package or get off my lawn, or stay
jumping the fence at the pool, because my daughter just wanted to do that in our complex, and I was like, no, it might be guarded by Cloudastructure.
Yeah.
But talk about some of the benefits to customer statistics and so on and so forth in regards to guarding, remote guarding as a service, James.
Yeah, sure. Maybe if this is okay, can I just take a minute or so, just as a little bit of an overview. I always like to start with the overview about what we do, what our company does, just in case there's the rare person that hasn't seen us on the Big Biz Show before.
I agree. We are far-reaching.
Yeah, that's right. 80 million homes. So we are a video surveillance company using artificial intelligence to provide monitoring services predominantly for enterprise customers. It's 100% continuously monitored in real time. And when something is perceived as a threat, then it goes to the humans in the loop or our remote guarding team. And they look at what's going on. They look at a live stream of what our artificial intelligence triggered as a possible event, like Mary's daughter jumping the fence to go in the pool. And if they determine that it is something that needs addressing, they can do a number of things. The easiest and quickest is to talk down to someone using our part of our system, using a speaker system. They can also contact authorities if appropriate, etc. So some statistics, because every time I think of these statistics, they start to be staggering. We are processing 8 million videos a day.
My goodness.
8 million videos a day, processing. A subset of those go to the remote guards where our artificial intelligence says, this is something that needs to be addressed.
Right.
And here's where it gets interesting. 94% of the time, the guards look at the live feed, they determine that no further action is required. So that means 6% of the time, there needs to be a talk down or an escalation to security or police or something. And when we just had a quarterly review with the remote guarding team today, and there's some additional interesting statistics, like the highest percentage of incidents is actually related to loitering, trespassing, unhoused individuals, those sorts of things, right? The next one is interventions that require police, fire, or other medical emergencies.
So it goes from loitering all the way to rolling police or fire. That's really interesting.
Yep.
How quickly
it is.
how quickly that kind of escalates. Because you would think oftentimes you don't roll the cops until there's an actual break-in or so forth, but it goes from just nuisance to actual threat potentially or prevention.
James McCormick is the CEO of Cloudastructure, Inc., ticker symbol CSAI. His CFO, Greg Smitherman, with us here on the Big Biz Show as well. Greg, you mentioned 200%. You gave a figure there a couple of minutes ago. And is that a byproduct of the world being not as safe, or is it the converse, a lot of people saying, hey, we went with Cloudastructure and we've never felt safer?
I think it's a bit of both, because one of the things that James didn't get to when he was talking about we have to call somebody. Before we call people, our guards talk down, and 98% of the time, the problem is resolved just by their intervention saying, you're on camera, you shouldn't be there, time to get out.
Yeah.
And off they go. So that is actually what our customers come to us for. They're like, wow, we could really utilize that. That would really benefit our tenants. So it's a host of things, right? People are, with all that's going on in the world, feeling less safe.
Sure.
They want more protection. There are a lot of things are going on. We're able to leverage our AI very effective, right? A person can't watch 8 million videos a day. Our AI can.
God.
So it's a host of things that people say, we're not feeling safe. What are the best solutions? And they're coming to us. It really meets their needs very, very cost effectively.
Hey, James, by the way, Cloudastructure team's here today. Greg Smitherman is the CFO, James McCormick, CEO, Cloudastructure, Inc., CSAI is their stock ticker. James, when you talk about, let's talk about categories of protection, whether commercial, storefronts, multi housing. Can you give us some sort of a breakdown of what you concentrate on and what reality is in terms of what you're protecting?
Sure, of course. So the first major category for us that we started in, spent years penetrating, and it's going exceptionally well, is multifamily housing. Apartment complexes, high rises, garden style, whatever the case might be. That is a very, very important and growing part of our revenue base. And we were talking, Greg was just talking about, or I think Mike brought up the concept of people not feeling safe. Based on our statistics, 85% of property managers in multifamily report that crime is on the rise.
Wow.
So that's a very logical a vertical for us. We've also recently announced foray into transportation and logistics. Think high-end truck yards where people can, where they can park their tractors and their trailers and have it be monitored and protected, because cargo theft is another one of those rapidly rising, I guess you would say, areas of theft as well. And we're also starting to make inroads into the construction industry. Once again, think about it.
Sure.
Materials, tools, copper wire, whatever the case might be, as well as commercial properties. Think shopping malls, not so much from the interior of the malls, but exterior, after hours. People going back to workers going back to their cars in the parking lot, external entrances, those sorts of things. So there's a number of verticals that we are actively addressing, and a number that we think holds some very high potential for us in the future. And I would just say, think, campus/university security, those sorts of things.
James McCormick, the CEO of Cloudastructure, Inc. His CFO is Greg Smitherman, their ticker symbol CSAI.
I had a question. Well, you just mentioned university and school, which I love that idea just because of the safety of campuses around our country. But With Cloudastructure, with the name, it makes me think of the cloud. Does the footage go to a cloud too, in case it needs to be used for a trial or something happens? How long is the footage saved for?
Right. So two ways to answer the question. First and foremost, yeah, absolutely. That is one of our key differentiators in a traditional sense. You know, like at a convenience store, they're generally using what's, an NVR, a network video recorder, tape, hard drive, whatever. And, it's not searchable. It gets overwritten, all that other kind of stuff. Our product uses what's called a CVR, a cloud video recorder. So when we talk about those 8 million videos, they're actually being uploaded to the cloud through our cloud video recorder down into our data centers with where it's run through our GPUs, through our servers that does the analysis of the activities. And and if appropriate, sends it to the remote cars. As far as storage times, Greg, do you want to talk about that?
Sure. So typically, videos are stored for 30 days. That's what customers want. But in a situation just like you said, there's an incident, we can lock that down and we can keep it as long as it's relevant for a trial or whatever. And because of all of our timestamping and control, it can be entered as evidence. And we've got the chain of custody and chain of command of video and to be able to ensure that it's not been edited or played with in any way, shape, or form. But typically for average videos, people don't go back looking more than a month. If customers want it, and we've had a few that do, we can store it for as long as they want. And
Hey, Greg, how are you guys using AI as far as gross profits are concerned to drive them?
Well, the remote guarding is a great example. Typically, a person can watch 6 video streams pretty well. The industry kind of uses 10. They don't watch it. They don't do it very well. They get distracted. They get bored. They're looking at the wrong video when something else happens on the other video. But 6 to 10 is what they can do. With our AI, which is watching it all the time, we are only flipping videos over to the guards when something of note happens. So we got certain conditions that get met. It goes to the guard, and the guard can determine, is this a problem or is it not a problem?
Sure.
Because of that, since they're not watching a video all the time, they can watch a lot of cameras. They can watch 50 to 70.
And AI is minding the rest of them, right? Or bringing them up to up front and
AI is
center.
minding the rest.
Absolutely.
Right.
And so, it's a tenfold increase in what one guard can do.
Yeah.
Which drops right to the bottom line.
Hey, James, before I let you guys out of here, and once again, it's great to have both of you there. I love when you guys bring your team on air with us and give us more time. You guys are starting to do some non-traditional marketing, non-traditional ways of communicating, including webinars that you coordinate. Obviously, you and I have talked off air about a number of things, but talk about the webinar side of things and how you guys are going through client acquisition, because careful what you wish for. Pretty soon, you're going to have more business. I mean, the more verticals you go into, right? Talk about that just a bit before we let you out of here.
Yeah, sure, of course. So, that is an important part of our outreach, I guess you would say, are webinars. And basically what we do, we host these webinars. They generally include some sort of an expert, an attorney, or one of our ambassadors was in charge of security for all of UPS, right? For, I believe it was 25 years or so. So, and Mary, you had brought up the point about, hey, can you save footage and have it be helpful to the property if there is some sort of an allegation or a trial or something. And that ties into some of the webinars that we've actually hosted for people, and some of the areas that you could probably, you'll go, that makes perfect sense, where you might want to have video backup or video proof of events is things like resident altercations. something happening, as you mentioned, from a pool or other common areas,
Well,
weight room,
even
whatever.
package theft.
right?
I mean, it's happened to my daughter. And
Package theft.
That's a big thing that happens in multifamily
Yep.
units, stuff like that. So it's,
James McCormick
absolutely.
is the CEO of Cloudastructure Inc. His CFO is Greg Smitherman. Gentlemen, as always, we appreciate you being here on the show. We do feel safer after you come on with us.